Hey, Leith, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Taylor?
Good, good.
Good.
Cruising
How
along.
about you, Krista?
I'm double thumbs up. Happy
Yep.
Thursday.
Yeah, Little Friday, as I call it.
Oh, nice.
Little Friday, I like
It
that.
is. It's
I
Little
totally
Friday.
love that, Lee.
Especially once we're done with work for the day, it's already Friday. It's good. The weekend has
That's
started.
true. I
Yeah,
like
So,
that.
yeah, so it's something to look forward to, right?
hmm hmm
Friday, the weekend. It's going to be sunny one day, rainy one day. Um, but yeah, but where is everybody right now, today? How are you feeling in this moment?
I think that's a good question. I think being in the moment or being present has like progressively become more and more of a theme. I think for me personally and what I've seen with kids, with parents, it's so hard to be present.
Right. And why do we think it's, I don't know, Krista, first of all, how are you feeling about that?
I feel like it's really important. First of all, I love how you talked about it being, what did you say, a little
Little
Friday?
Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that because it is thinking about the future, but it's like the recent future, near future. But I think the most important thing that we can actually do is to stay in the moment, and that's a really hard thing to do. I think that we can talk about things that have or events that have happened because it's fact, but I think so many of us run into the anxiety of what's to become.
Mhm.
And we can each think about like, let's just think about tomorrow as Friday, right? And we can talk about 100 different things that could happen that can alter or deter our day. And we all run the risk of kind of falling into that anxiety trap of thinking about the unknown. So staying, I always like to think of the heartbeat as the moment that we're in right now, and just recognizing how we feel in this moment, and recognizing that every moment we're in is connected in time, and that's how we kind of get through to our future.
Mhm.
hmm I really like that because it centers us right here. And this is where we need to be grounded,
Mhm.
right? When you talk about grounding, it's about coming into the center of your being and just being present in your body. That's what mindfulness is. It's being present in the moment and present in your body in that moment.
Mhm.
But I know that right now, I don't know about you guys, but I know that for me, um, now that we're post holiday and we still kind of have this long stretch before spring, this is always a hard time of year, anyhow. I'm the type of person that once New Year's comes, I want spring to be here. I don't want to go through the
Yeah.
rest of the winter. I just want it to be springtime and then summer. But this year especially, it's been a struggle, and I think it has been for our students and maybe our families as well.
Mhm.
Right now, it's that motivation of getting through the fall and kind of looking forward to winter break and everything, and maybe things will be different. But now we know we're going to have a longer time,
Yeah.
and everything's up in the air in the future. So I think people are just very tired right now.
Yeah.
And I
I,
think an important thing is to kind of bring it back to where are we right now?
mhm. I agree. I think what I've for myself and what I've seen is that it feels like people have put in a big effort, and now we're at the point where we're like, okay, I need to mellow, and not necessarily wanting to mellow or knowing that you should, but like, it's like I put out a ton of energy. I can't keep doing that. Um, and so I think going back to that mindfulness is so important, um, because I feel like for me and a lot of people, our brains naturally default to either look into the future or comparing the past,
Mm-hmm.
and both of those create anxiety. Both of those are things that are out of our control, and what's in our control is right now, our breathing, our heartbeat, focusing on one right now.
Yeah, I think in addition to that, I mean, I think that we each, we feel it too. I mean, all of the adults feel it. It doesn't matter what level, what grade, which teacher, which parent, which student. We're all feeling the same struggles. We never would have thought last year at this time that we'd be here right now, and we all want to kind of round the corner or get over that hill. But what I'm proposing is in the mindfulness moment of just being where we are right now, and we're going to turn that corner. We're going to get to the other side of the hill. Time happens no matter what, but just focusing on how you feel now and normalizing that and making it be like it's okay to feel these things.
Mhm.
We don't, we will get, I mean, look how far we've come. Look at all the things. There have been hard times, there have been joyous times. We've all built relationships with our kiddos, teachers, staff. I mean, all of us have. Families are talking about having a different relationship with their family members and their students at home too. So we've had so many moments that we've overcome already. I can promise this, that we will get to that other side of that hill moment by moment, instead of trying to fast forward it all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right. It's not a sprint.
Nope.
Yeah. And I think it's important too to, you know, even just thinking about, like, as we're talking about this, like, there's a lot of hurt that's going on. People have lost people have lost jobs. And I totally understand wanting to distract. If you've got some gnarly stuff going on right now, being present in the moment doesn't seem like a good option, because you're going to be thinking about that kind of stuff. And I don't think that we're talking about dwelling in like a negative situation or dwelling in a negative emotion or whatever's going on. I think we're talking about trying to let go of the sort of perseverating on the future or perseverating on something that happened in the past. Trying to be more connected to yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, so many of the lessons that we've all done, it's talking, some kids feel stuck. I reframe it by calling it safe. I don't want to persever in any moment, but I think acknowledging a moment, acknowledging how you feel. You know, if something happens that's challenging, and let's face it, we've got so many challenges that it's too hard to even like wrap our minds around, acknowledging what those are, because I got news for y'all. You're getting through it, whether you're persevering or you're stuck or you're safe or you're normalizing, you will live through it. It will be, we will get on the other side of all of this.
Yeah.
Right.
We're resilient and we're strong.
Well, right. And I do think it's important in that moment. It's okay to stop and say, wow, I feel rotten right now, or I'm frustrated, or I'm just angry, or I'm really sad. And you don't even have to know why. I mean, so many times we want to know why because we want to fix it. It's okay not to fix it. Sometimes just acknowledging it is all you need to do. And, you know, sometimes you're just irritated with the world. And even if you don't know why, just acknowledging that and saying, okay, now I need to do something to help myself feel better in this moment is what you need to do, instead of like trying to fix whatever's wrong.
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the things that I hope that we've done well conveying to families and to kids when we meet with them, or whether it's through our Kimochi lessons or circles or these videos, is different ways of embracing self-care for whatever you're going through. I mean, even working through I mean, I don't know, I've got a lot of energy. So even when I have those, you know, those feelings of excitement or have these energetic moments, still trying to find ways of navigating through those times. But that's what I think that we need to keep modeling for our kids and our parents. You know, our parents are really wanting to get through things too. So all of these are for all of us, not just the students.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, you know, that kind of being present and being in the moment very much reminds me, it's super cliche, but like when you're at the ocean, if you're surfing or if you're whatever you're doing, you have to be focused on what's going on right now. You have to notice the ebb and the flow and the current, and, you know, you have to be focused on what's going on. But then you also have to have just a touch of like, okay, I know the sets are going to start rolling in. I know things are going to get bigger pretty soon. You know, I know it's going to swell. I know it's, you know, but I'm not going to dwell on that, because if I start thinking about the swell that's going to happen in 10 minutes, I'm going to miss the fact that like I'm going to get, you know, smoked by this huge wave right now. But I think it's important to kind of think about that. Like, okay, what can I focus on right now? You know, are we in an ebb or are we in a flow? What's going on? And if you're in an ebb, you know that at some point it's going to flow. And if you're flowing, then you know at some point it's going to ebb.
It's going to ebb. Right.
Yeah, I know one of the lessons I always do, it's just really closing your eyes and putting your hand over your heart and staying in that centered space of just right now in this moment, I'm taking, you know, my deep breaths and I've just got my heart beating, you know, and just being in that moment of time, sometimes it's just enough.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean don't plan for the future though, you know, it doesn't,
sure.
I'm not suggesting that, you know, it's okay to have future goals and dreams and hopes and all those happy thoughts. But if you're so far out in the future, you could be missing what's happening right now with you.
Yeah. So you're not saying sell my 401k and buy a bunch of bikes? That's not.
No.
Okay, okay.
It means,
No.
you know what, we don't realize it's history as it's being written.
Yeah.
And all of this in our future, we will be talking about from years and years to come.
Mhm.
And I know I've said it probably each week in our videos, but it's not going to be about an an algebraic equation or a multiplication table. It's going to be about the relationships that have been established and healthy ways that we've gotten through this together, you know?
Yeah, I was talking to a student about that just this week, and I was saying, because they were kind of mourning not being in school and not being able to be on campus this year, and and not getting a good finish to last year as well, and everything that they've missed out on since then. And I said, but the thing to think about is a year from now, they and I will be having a conversation face to face in the quad, sitting on, in the sunshine and looking back on this and saying, do you remember when? And this isn't a forever thing that we're going through right now, but I think it is important to acknowledge that we are going through it. We can't rush out of it. And even when we do start emerging again, I don't think we need to run to try and make everything as normal as possible when that happens. It's going to be a process going back to everything.
Yeah, it always cracks me up because we use the term normal, but you know what, this is just a new normal, and who gets to define that? Yeah. But I would really love people to start to think, I started kind of taking inventory myself, really doing some reflection of, I know we're trying to round this corner, and that was not a good view. We're trying to round this corner because especially after the winter holidays, but I do have to say, we do have 2-3 day weekends and spring break coming up before that long. How much have we already overcome? Look at what we've already done. Zoom and Loom and TikTok. I mean, not TikTok.
Are you sure?
You're just naming things I don't want to be a part of.
Zoom and Loom, and well, we have these on YouTube, and we have Seesaw. We have all these different avenues, and I don't know. We found so many cool things that we couldn't have done a year ago at this time for sure.
Right. Yeah. Think of everything that we've all learned how to do, and think of, speaking of normal, think how normal this is. From now on, if we have to do this, this is going to be, okay, let's do a Zoom meeting real quick and get it done.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of, like when you were a little kid and, like going to school, or like the first time that someone steals your toy, or like the first time you have a breakup in, middle school or high school, it seems like the world's going to end. And when you're in that moment, because you've never experienced anything like that, it feels like it's never ending, and it feels like it's the most awful thing in the world. And other people are looking at that like, well, dude, breakups happen, or, you got to learn to share your toys or whatever it is. But it's a different perspective on the same situation. And I think that once we're able to kind of look at this situation from a different lens, we're going to have a different perspective. But right now, this is the biggest thing that I would venture to say that all of us have had to deal with. And of course it seems pervasive and seems never ending. We've never dealt with anything like this. No, it's all brand new. Okay, so before we sign off, because I know we have to get going, what's one thing like today that you were going to do to help yourself kind of refocus where you are? One of my good friends and I have been running at a park in Windsor in the evenings, which we have headlamps, all that kind of stuff, safe. But the cool thing about it is it's running at night. Like, you have to be much more present. You've got to know, the trails, you got to know the rocks. You're going slower just because it's nighttime. You can't see everything. You're a little bit more attuned to the rustling in the bushes, the little deer eyes that pop up. And it's just it's a different, more fun vibe. And so we've been doing that a lot lately, just because it's it's centering. It's grounding. Grounding is a better word.
It grounds you. I like that. What about you, Krista?
Well, like Taylor, I know I've shared before, I really love to go out and go on walks and bike rides, which I still plan on doing today. But for me, kind of having a meditative practice has been more challenging for me. But I'm going to go home and I'm going to find one of my apps on my phone about just having like some soft playing music or waves in the background. And I'm just going to actually really practice that, focusing on my heartbeat and taking deep breaths, and just have about 5 or 10 minutes of just being, just really being settled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to do something similar, I think, except what I'm going to do, because it's kind of one of my New Year's goals. I don't make resolutions, but goals is to read more. So I think when I'm done here today, I'm going to, like you said, turn on some music in the background, and I'm going to get out one of the 4 books that are sitting there waiting for me to read them, and I'm going to sit down and actually dive into the book instead of just kind of reading a few pages. I'm going to set it up so I can actually sit and just really get into the story and kind of get into the moment of the book.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I like that all 3 of them are like a connection of like the mind and the body in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the same thing, Taylor, I have to say.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways we can do the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody out there has their own ways of doing this.
They're doing it already. That's the coolest thing I have to say of all.
Yeah.
Is we're already doing it. We've already gone through like half the school year already, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right,
guys.
All right.
Well,
Happy
thanks.
reading and running.
It's good to see you. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay.
All right. We'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.